Hello and welcome back to Sovereign RPG. We are back in the UK. We've got the weekend over and done with. I've spent some time with the kids. We had a really good time. We went and go over to the aquarium. We saw some fish, some sharks, some jellyfish. My son does love some jellyfish. And they both had a really good time and I'm really happy about that. So we got all of that out the way. Now I can't wait to see them again in the next couple of weeks. Going to be sorting that out every other weekend. I'll be flying over there to see the boys. Now I'm back in the UK, the land of the tea drinking, crumpet making, marmite eating extravaganza. And content is going to go back into full swing again. Today, we're going to be talking about Myth of Empires and the state that it's currently in, because there has been a few changes. Now, there has been a little bit of an update when it comes to the court side of things, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the actual Steam charts, the stuff that's going on, how many people are still logging into the game on Steam. Now, it's not going to be a completely accurate representation of what's going on, because they do have their own separate launcher now, but we're going to go over some of these things. We're going to talk about the massive dip that it's currently having on Steam, and maybe go over a few things discussing on what could make the game more appealing to people to come back to the game, because there's been a few issues over the past couple of months on the official servers and some things that have been updated or haven't been updated that should have been updated, but we are going to go over what we can. Now, there's been a few little updates when it comes to the court itself. Nothing has been put out on Pacer yet. It's just a sort of updated list of what's been going on over the past. Since the 23rd, there's been a few things that have happened. Nothing absolutely major, and no decisions have really been made yet, or at least nothing's been put up on Pacer for us to be able to download so I can give you full, accurate, step-by-step of what's going on. But what we found out so far is that the next actual proper hearing won't be until March the 7th. So there'll be another month of that going on. And we're probably not going to be looking at Steam coming back anytime soon for selling Myth of Empires. Because obviously what Angela's done is they've opened up their own thing on their own launcher, and that had a couple of little issues in itself, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But when they opened their own launcher, they no longer had the actual defense on removing the DMCA by not having enough money to continue on the fight. So they kind of stabbed themselves in the arse when it came to making that decision to make their own launcher, but they also have been able to bring it back onto the market itself so more people can get into the game. But what we're seeing on the Steam charts is actually quite the opposite. People are starting to leave the game in droves. Now we're at a very low peak, so we're going to go over what that is right now. But when it comes to the actual court updates, there's nothing really massive set in concrete that I can really go over. It's just a couple of step-by-steps. The Snail and Wildcard have get rid of a testimony of one of the developers, but there's no like minutes or anything for that. It's just what's on the update. So I've got nothing to show you on that front. Hopefully when there's something more concrete, we will be going over all that stuff when something comes up and we get the full minutes and we can go over everything, and it'll be much better that way. So let's move on to the actual Steam charts themselves. Now, if we go to the web page over here, we got it all set up. I've got all the whole new computer set up, and I've got all my own little scenes and stuff set up on OBS, so it's going to be easy to jump from different things, so I don't have to manually do it each time. I spent yesterday doing a lot of work on the actual OBS and on the recording stuff and the recording side of things to hopefully make it a lot better and easier to get the content out there for you guys. So let's go over what we have so far. Now, as you can see, from like the 10th of January, we're seeing massive ups and downs all the way down here. You're going to be seeing like over on this side, we go from like the 10th of January when we had like 22K inside of the game, and we're at the highest of 47. Now, this is the peaks. Now, this is daily peaks. And we're going down, 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 down. And it stayed relatively decent. For a game that hasn't been up for sale, it has actually been holding up pretty damn well. Now, when the game came back up for sale, you're still seeing that the game is slowly going down and down and down and down all the way to 9,701, which is what we have currently. Now, the 24-hour peak is 10K, and like not even a month ago, that was sitting at 20K, between 18 and 20K for the 24-hour peak. And currently, there's 9,701 that were playing 39 minutes ago. All-time peak was 50K, and that was when it was going really strong, and that's when Wild and Snail took the game off the market. Now, what we can see down here is that in December, we had 25K. In November, we had 23K. It went up a little bit. We gained 2K, and then it went up like a 10% gain with a peak players of 47K in that time. This was when the game first released on November the 18th. It went through November. It got quite a good amount of traction. In December, it got massive traction. Then the game was taken down in December. Now in January, we only have 14K average players. For January, that's down 11,000 players. That's a 43.16% down on what we had last month. Now, there could be many reasons for this actually happening. Now, this could be happening because people didn't realize that you could keep the game on Steam and still play it, and they rebought it on the new launcher. Now, that's wishful thinking on my side, but I'm forever the optimist. Well, I try to be the optimist. It doesn't always work out that way, but we do try to be a little bit optimistic. I've left my mobile gaming anger, pessimistic ways behind, and we're moving forward. Now, that could be one of the reasons. It also doesn't show the people that are showing offline that may be playing the game. Now, that won't be a massive amount of players. A lot of players do keep their stuff online, and it does show on the Steam charts, but that it could also be a factor that there's a lot of people that are playing that haven't got their stuff online. But again, I very much doubt that that's going to be an issue there. So why are we seeing the massive drop in player count? So why is Myth of Empires losing traction on Steam? Obviously, because it's no longer up for sale. That is the given. Obviously, people might be making the changes and going over to the new launcher, but that didn't need to happen. But a lot of people still asked if they had to rebuy the game. So maybe people didn't go into the Discord and ask. Maybe people didn't go onto the Facebook and ask. Maybe they just rebought the game because they didn't want to lose it if it came off Steam, especially with the limited keys that you could actually buy. Now, it has been selling like hotcakes on the website. The website is always sold out for the keys. It is going as soon as they go up. Now, at the start, there was a lot of those absolute bastard people that were just buying the keys and sticking them straight up on G2A. There was like, I have screenshots coming out of my ass that people were sending me that was showing the amount of keys that went straight up on G2A, and they were going up there for $60, $70, $80, $90, and it was just mind-boggling that these arseholes exist. But people have to make money. It's entrepreneurial, some might say. But it still pisses me off because I'm the one that kind of has to buy the new things, getting the new computers, the new graphics cards for twice the amount of MSRP, and it's an absolute wind up. Like, they should, people who do that stuff should be illegal. Like, I mean, I understand buying a product for cheaper, and I understand buying it for cheaper and then selling it for more. That's the general gist of how stuff works when you're selling stuff. But when people are legitimately buying stuff and then doubling the cost of it, and then buying everything up and then doubling the cost of it and then putting it on sale online, there should be a limit, especially because there's a limited amount of chips that can be used to put into the graphics cards to be able to sell the graphics cards, the RTX series that are coming out. They already went out of stock and the new 2050 came out. Everyone bought all that stuff because it was cheap as hell, and now it's still unavailable. It only came out last week. Sorry, not the 2050, the 3050. I don't know why I said the bloody 2050. I'm stuck 4 years ago. I don't even know if they made a 2050. I think it was just the 60. Anyway, this is something that we're not talking about today with the Myth of Empires. Now, my main reasoning, my thinking behind why the game is slowly decreasing in player base. Now, it could be that there is 40,000 people with the new launcher, but it hasn't been long enough for that amount of keys to go out to be able to do that amount of, like, to raise that amount of players inside of the game. Now, personally, for the main reason that I left the official servers is because the amount of glitches and the amount of stuff that people are using to exploit their way into people's bases. A lot of the things that have been around since before even the game released on early access for us, these exploits were already in the game before. Now, I understand they have a lot of stuff to deal with. If they have been rewriting the code to make it look like that it's not that, and giving them enough time to have to rewrite the code, so like if it does come to checking the whole code, they don't have anything in there that's naughty. So that might have taken up some time. If that's the case, I'm not saying it is, but it could be. Who knows? The only people that know that are Angela. But my guess is the player base is slowly declining off of the official servers because of the amount of exploits that are being used by certain groups and guilds. We all know who they are. No one needs to point them out. If you want to put it in the comments in the thing, just keep it pretty respectful. I don't want to see racist comments. The amount of racist bloody shit that I had to delete last time we talked about this was absolutely mental. I don't want to have to do that. We're a better community than that. But we know the people that are using it. We know the people that are wiping off servers, and we know the people that are making excuses that it's not in their power and it shouldn't be their problem that they are wiping out servers. It should be up to the developers to sort that stuff out. And we can argue about that all day long. But I think that is the main reason why we're slowly seeing the decline that we are seeing across the board when it comes to us going down. Other games are starting to come out as well. We got Dying Light 2. We got Lost Ark coming out in February. If you'd like me to cover some of Lost Ark, though, I will be playing it. So please let me know down below in the comments if you'd like to see some Lost Ark stuff. We'll keep that on the side there. But saying that, I am back in Myth of Empires. I am playing in Myth of Empires. I even went back to the official servers to carry on getting my actual skills up on my main character. So even if it does continue on and we see like a further heartbeat in the game, I'll be able to jump in and just carry on and play at a competitive level and not be too far behind those absolute like no life dudes that have been cracking on recently. But we got a lot of things coming out this year. So in order for Myth of Empires to hold us in place, they need to make some fixes. They need to make those fixes on those exploits. Get rid of the stuff that is causing all the problems on the official servers, on the PvE, on the PvP servers. Get these things done and you'll be able to hold your player base. Get these things fixed and people might start coming back in droves, because this is the main issue for a lot of people. A little bit of an update over what's been going on over the past month and my thoughts on what is causing the dip that we're currently seeing. Let me know down below what you guys think is causing this, what is going to be happening. Do you have hope that Myth of Empires is going to get a new heartbeat later on? Do you think any of this stuff is going to get fixed and sorted? Let me know down below. Remember to like the video if you do enjoy my content. Remember to subscribe if you'd like to see more survival gaming content, and we do have a Patreon in the description if you would like to support myself and the channel. I want to thank you all for watching. Fly safe and avoid local chat scams.